When you're ready, rock and roll, Ken.
Hello, welcome to the High Noon Show with Robin Unger at 1620 in beautiful downtown Victoria, where today, music, rugby, and health action is the main attraction, featuring our big star today, rock and roll hero Tal Bachman. Hosting the show will be Kit Warren, Kenny Warren, and of course Robin Unger and myself, Ken Hollywood Himes, the entertainment guy that's not shy. Podcast number 1. Welcome, everyone.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to 1620. Got my good friend Tal Bachman here from Rugby and hanging out in the streets of Victoria and going out for beers and being what we like to call real Canadian men. Welcome, Tal.
Thanks for having me.
You bet.
How about that intro?
He's pretty wild. Ken Himes has been a local legend here on the playing fields, the boxing arenas, and all the monster truck shows and rock shows. He's a good buddy of mine as well. We played on the streets together a few times.
Thank you, and he saved my life once downtown from a giant muscular guy that
Really?
tried to beat me up once.
Really?
Yeah, Kit Warren stepped up to the plate.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're here talking about Tal Bachman today, and Tal, you've had great success in the music business. You're starting some new stuff now. Would you like to discuss that, please?
What's secret? I can't reveal any of the secret. Well, I'm working on a few projects. Yeah, got a few big pitch meetings coming up. Had a few in the summer, so that seems to be still incubating, that whole thing. But I mean, this is very vague, isn't it?
Well, you get to play while you're waiting.
Well,
right?
Anyway.
By the way, Tal Bachman has brought his guitar here today.
Just in case.
Whoa.
Just in case.
I was looking at your guitar, and I had questions like, I'm not a very good goal kicker or drop goal kicker.
Right.
And I was like, how does that work with the guitar? Is there like types of notes or types of things that you're practicing that you just eludes you all the time?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like learning a language. If you really want to get to the level of like full fluency, that last 10-15% takes a lot of work. You know, so what I'm trying to say is you can get up to speed and you can be totally sort of adequate or more than adequate with, obviously it takes practice and time. But if you want to shred like a metal guy, I mean, you got to put in hours and hours and hours, and I never really wanted to do that.
No, I've heard some of the snippets of your new song. It's one of my favorites, and the guitar work in that is it's shredding. It's pretty shredded.
Yeah. Well, that thing you heard was sort of a rock thing. I mean, I'm talking about like progressive metal and those kinds of stuff.
You diving into different.
Well, I
listened
to tons of that, but I always knew, even when I was younger, as I was contemplating a possible career in music, I was never going to be like a metal shredder. That was kind of where my heart was. I liked the stuff, but I like Zeppelin and the Beatles and the Who and stuff like that.
Definitely.
Anyway.
Just so you know, everyone, Tal Bachman had one of the biggest hits in the world on the British charts, the American charts, and the Canadian charts with She's So High. And that was a number of years ago. And can you tell us about some of the people you performed with in the past that may not know your music?
That I performed with? Well, I did a tour with Bryan Adams. I did a tour with the Bare Naked Ladies. They haven't been around in a while, have they?
Sweet.
I brought them here in 1991.
Really?
Lost $50,000.
Wow.
Jeff Healy, Bare Naked Ladies, and Amanda Marshall.
I played with Jeff Healy on a bill one day. We didn't do a tour. We just did a show together.
Cool. Who would you like to play with? What is there somebody out there that
tons of people.
tons?
Well, I mean,
is there any realistic ones that are on
for
the
sure he'd like to play with Swift again.
Well,
Taylor Swift, is that correct?
Yeah, that was a pretty fun night.
Dude, that's pretty epic.
Yeah.
To be a man, I think showing the father figure is to hang out with some of the most beautiful ladies in the planet, and that's an honor.
Yeah, that was 8 years ago.
Oh, really?
Something like that. Yeah, I got an email from. Well, I heard. Yeah, I'll just tell that story.
Yeah, tell the story, bro.
Well, I heard from a few people that Taylor Swift had given an interview with some magazine where she had said that "She's So High," the song that I wrote and performed, was one of her favorites. And I was like, "Oh, that's cool, yeah, sure." And then I got an email from her saying, like, "I'm going to play in Vancouver in a couple of nights. Do you want to come on stage and play this song with me?
Wow.
Play She's So High with me. We'll just do it together." And so we've never met. I mean, I have to say, whatever else you want to say about Taylor, I mean, that takes a lot of guts.
No
You've
kidding.
never met the guy. You have no idea what you're going to get. I could have been, staggered, stumbled in like a meth head, or 400 pounds, or fallen off the stage. I mean, anything can happen.
Yeah.
And she said, come over to Rogers Arena, a sold out show. And she, even then, is on top of her game. She's like a top tier act. So, like I say, whatever else you want to say about Taylor, I mean, that's pretty almost reckless.
Yeah.
And so I said, sure. And she's I grabbed a couple of my kids. That was a Friday night, actually. No, Saturday. I think that was a Saturday. And then Sunday, there was a rugby game here.
Oh.
And so I thought if I didn't want to miss the game. So
I love it. The purest to heart.
So I loaded up the sleeping bags, the pillows, threw my kids in the van, drove over to Vancouver, went to the sound check. We ran through the song. We started the song for the sound check. It was like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, empty arena. I broke a string after like 30 seconds. And I mean, if you can just sort of imagine, I'm staring out of this cavernous arena.
Yeah.
And I break a string, and I'm like, man, if this happens tonight, I mean, you break a string, the thing had a vibrato arm on it, so you break a string, the whole guitar goes out of tune. I'm like, man, if this happens tonight, this is really gonna suck. And I got to hit that high note.
Yeah.
I mean, that's scary enough, right? So these crazy girls are gonna be like videotaping this thing. What is going to happen? This could be like a really embarrassing.
But that's what
3.5 minutes.
You step up to the big plate.
Yeah, so I break a string. We stop the run through. Another guy runs out. We get through the song one time. That's it. I go backstage, and I had a chance to kind of calm myself. And I'm like, I'm like doing like cognitive therapy on myself, right? Like, this is not really a problem. By world standards, this is nothing you should really be stressed about. You're going to be playing in front of like 18,000 screaming cute girls, and you're on stage with Taylor Swift, and you're friendly with her manager. I mean, that's a nice contact to have, who's since gone on to all sorts of success in other areas. So this is not really a problem, and I calmed down, and we came out, and it was actually really fun. So we did the thing, got a huge response. That was pretty cool. And I have to say, now that I'm thinking about this, I happened to read a week later the write-up in the Georgia Straight, and it was a review of the Taylor Swift concert, and then a concert that had occurred the night before.
Yeah.
An artist that I don't remember which artist it was, but the other artist that was kind of a dual review, the back-to-back concerts, was a kind of edgy, dark, hip, lots of cred, the kind of thing that hip people would really like. And of course, Taylor is not that kind of artist, right? Taylor's more for like ordinary, normal people. And this reviewer in the Georgia Straight, which of course never misses an opportunity to reestablish its credibility as the arbiter of everything edgy and hip.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
This reviewer said, I went to these 2 concerts, and this kind of edgy hip concert, it was pretty good. And she said, I went to the Taylor Swift concert kind of prepared to not like it. And then Tal Bachman came out, right? And, there's not even a pretense of like kind of bohemian credibility there, right? And this reviewer said, it was totally awesome.
Cool.
And so I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. That was cool for me because
Getting the positive response back from busting the guitar
for me that to think that not only had we connected with all of Taylor's fans they're probably going to like it. You know, they're probably going to like anything Taylor does. But even somebody who's sort of predisposed to disdain it, and even she had a good time, this reviewer. So that was pretty cool.
That was great.
So we finished the show, said goodbye to everybody, loaded into the van, drove to the ferry terminal, crashed in the van. The kids.
Wow.
I had a big 15-passenger van. I used to have a few rugby trips.
the rugby trips.
We got on the first ferry, which I think was the 7, dropped the kids off at their mother's. I ran home, grabbed a couple things, and then drove to the rugby game. The scrum half didn't show up, so I played scrum half.
Well done.
And they gave me man of the match.
Wow.
So I have to say, from like that, 8 o'clock in the evening or the night before, 9 o'clock till like the next
That's
day.
never been done before.
It was like the greatest 16
That's
hours
never
of my
been done
life. It was
before.